What's up, y'all? I'm back with the first official documentary review. Now, hold up. Let me explain how this works. Let me explain. When you see me do a documentary review, just know that it's a done deal. It's a wrap. There's no need for a rating. This is good. I wouldn't present anything to you of a documentary that is trash. Just not going to do that to you. Know that. Let me also explain my format. First, I'll explain my interest in the documentary. Second, I'll explain some fun facts that I learned watching this documentary, stuff that I didn't know before. Third, I'm going to give some suggestions of what I would have added in the movie if it were me doing this. I get to call my forgotten corner. Fourth, I'm just going to wrap it up, give you my conclusion on this, and it's a wrap. It's done. Right, now that you understand the rules, let's get into this review. Now, first of all, this movie is called Skin, the History of Nudity in the Movies, which pretty much is self-explanatory. The title explains itself. It's the beginning of nudity and sex in films all the way to now, or how I feel is the end. Just so much has changed. So much has changed. Trust me on that. It's pretty much the ups and downs from the time when nudity was very important and was looked at as an art form to now where, like, if you do nudity, you don't work in Hollywood anymore, or you're not taken serious, and you're just kind of pushed out the picture. Wow. But let's get into that review. This movie has a lineup of guest appearances by people like Kevin Smith, Eric Roberts, Shannon Elizabeth, Malcolm McDowell, just to name a few. Not A-list, but these people are very important to the documentary. Once you see it, you understand what I'm saying. Also, it discusses movies such as Caligula, Basic Instinct, 50 Shades of Grey, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, many more. Alright. Now, my initial interest in a documentary like this derives from the fact that if you know me by now, you know that I love something that is a raw material. I despise censorship. I don't want anything to be held back in any movie I watch, even though I understand that censorship is needed, especially in kid movies and things that younger audiences shouldn't see. But what I'm watching, I don't want no hold back, no hold bar. And this is talking about just that. Nudity, sex in the movie. When nudity is necessary and a sex scene is necessary and it helps the storyline, or it kind of, decorates that story, illustrates that storyline even better, or it matches with it, I'm all for it. I want it. Keep it in. Don't short me my sex scene. That's how I feel. So that's what drew me into this documentary. Plain and simple. Let me get to those fun facts. First fun fact. I think back in the 1920s, 1930s, somewhere in there was an organization called the Catholic Legion of decency. And what they pretty much did was give movies a rating from A to C. A being it was fine. B being they had some qualms with it. This is what they said. They had some qualms with it, but they still let it pass. And C, well, C, you're pretty much going to hell. If you watch this movie, you're going to hell. That's what C meant. Now, the funny thing about that, a lot of Catholics would get those ratings, and they would see C, and that made them want to go see the dang movie, which was hilarious to me when I first saw that on this film. And I pretty much guessed that. People, come on now. People want to see the C. They want to see the movie that's going to send you to hell. Let's just be real, man. Nobody wants to see Safe. Alright? Now, second fun fact. The second fun fact that drilled me in, that pulled me in, was in the 1950s, there was this whole phenomenon called like cutie movies or nudie movies. Pretty much, let me explain. There was one genre of it called monster cuties, where women would run around naked through the movie, and they'd be running from monsters, or guys in monster suits like Frankenstein and the werewolf and Dracula for no apparent reason. Because that's what they did in the 50s. And the movie didn't have a plot, anything like that. Just, I personally would have thought that was just trash. But, because of the no plot thing. But, that was interesting to me. Third fun fact. Did you know the first American actor to star in a rated X movie was Robert De Niro? Not the one you're thinking about. What they considered rated X back in the 70s. And Robert De Niro was the guy. Not Stallone, not anybody else. Robert De Niro. Keep that in mind. Fourth fun fact, and my favorite fact. If you're not familiar with the Howling franchise, you better get familiar with it. Because I watched pretty much all of them. I thought I did. Until watching this, and they revealed it in a scene in Howling 2. Pretty much a werewolf three-way going on there. A werewolf triangle, as you may, which is hilarious if you see it. I can't show it on here. For obvious reasons, but it is a knockout in laughter. You're going to die laughing. There was a female werewolf in there with blonde hair, blonde fur. I've never seen nothing like that. That's just the tip of the iceberg. You gotta see the scene. Alright? Just look that scene up. Or watch this movie. Watch the documentary. Alright. Now, here's some things. Here's the part where I said I wanted some suggestions. Because I felt like there were movies that they didn't speak upon that they could have spoke upon. Particular Porky's. Porky's was mentioned for 10 seconds. I wanted them to elaborate on Porky's. The Secretary. Classic movie. Wild Things. Another one. 9.5 Weeks. One of the legendary ones. They never mentioned it. I'm a little disappointed. What happened? Come on, man. Maybe a second documentary on it. They'll mention that. All right. That's just my opinion on that. Now, in conclusion, this movie pretty much, like I said in the beginning, it it started off, nudity and sex in movies started off as a taboo, artistic thing. Then it went from taboo to forbidden completely, shut down by what they call the production code. Then it became the norm in the 80s. And then finally the 90s, where it was starting to be like how I like, where the sex scenes helped the storyline. The sex scenes made sense within the movie most of the time. And that the 90s were had it down pat for a minute. And then all of a sudden things went left, because a lot of producers and in the movie game, they would force some of the actresses or lie to them about scenes they're gonna do, and that kind of twisted the game up. And I guess that's the reason that a lot of actresses don't do nude scenes anymore or want to get doubles, which is lame to me. But this is where we're at right now with the Me Too movement and all that. This is where we're at right now. Maybe things will change up a little bit. Who knows? That's just something we have to see. But that's my whole thing on this. I recommend y'all go see this. Not go see it. Download it. It's very entertaining, very interesting little tidbit. I'll be back with some more documentaries. There's a lot of them out there that I want to touch on. Like, share, subscribe. You know what's up.